So the knee flexion extension helps the athlete gradually straighten the leg. So that would obviously increase the range of motion. And as a +1, you could tie the resistance band around the ankles and bend the leg. So you could tie the resistance band around here on the right leg on the photo that I'm showing you, and then either step on it. Yeah, so stepping it on your left leg, the one that's on the floor, and then just bring it up. So obviously there's a bit of tension there. And then if that's really easy for you, then use ankle weights. For a regression, you could just use body weight, knee flexion and extension, like shown in the photo. And then as a -2, you could sit on a chair and extend the leg just so you're not putting that much pressure on your other leg. So you've got that kind of like not bearing that weight on the other leg that's on the floor. And all of these are for 10 reps. The balance on one leg is for 3 sets, supine hamstring stretches for 2 sets, heel slides is for 3 sets, and knee flexion extension is for 3 sets as well. And they're all at 40 seconds rest, because I've bumped the rest time up to 40 seconds instead of 30, just because it's only phase 2, and the injury's still quite fresh, so it's better to have more rest and recovery periods and not have like really short ones straight away, just because you want to get the adequate amount of rest for the muscle. Done that. Yeah, so all these regression drills are just basically if the injury became worse, or if the athlete just suddenly became in pain. The next phase is phase 3, which is strengthening and increasing the range of motion. So first exercise is squats. So +1 would be use of a resistance band, just to keep that tension on the quads. +2 would be holding a weight or a medicine ball while squatting, and you can add the resistance band in there as well, just to give that extra tension, because you've got that extra weight, you've got that extra tension pulling you down, and then you've got the extra pressure to squat back up and contract your muscles back up. As a regression, if you don't, you can take out all of the weight in the resistance band and you can just do a body weight squat. And then if you feel like that's really painful for you and uncomfortable, then you can just have a half a body weight squat. So you get to you don't sit all the way down, so you're not doing like a 90-degree squat or anything. You're just doing a little one, just so it's a little slight bend in the leg. Next one is box jumps. That's more plyometric, because you're increasing the range of motion and trying to strengthen. That's phase 3. So yeah, squats build the legs muscle, strengthen around the kneecap, enables you to jump higher and faster. The box jumps are plyometric, so it increases the strength in the legs and increases your balance, and it helps your coordination because you're jumping at a height. For regression, you can just jump over the box instead of jumping on it, and then for regression, you can jump to the box, so you don't actually jump on it. You just so you're jumping the same distance, so you don't get confused or go too far, but you're just jumping to the box, not over it or on it. And then +1 would be, if you're finding that easy, be strength landing on one leg. And then +2, you can increase the box height so that you're jumping even higher and strengthening even more. An arabesque is an eccentric loading exercise. It's more of a stretch rather than an exercise, because you're stretching that back hamstring. So it is said to improve the kicking ability, as when you're using the weight, like in the photo on the left, you're moving onto a single leg, because so you're just forcing that weight onto one leg, and you're increasing therefore that muscular endurance and then power. So it's meant to help improve your kicking ability. So in rugby or football. On the +1, you can use a resistance band, arabesque. So that would be tied round your quads, and then when you stand on one leg, the resistance band would go back and get that tension. And then on +2 is a weighted arabesque using dumbbells, or you can use a barbell if you prefer, if it's easier, like in the photo on the left. And then for a -1 for regression, if that's too hard or it's painful, you can just use a body weight arabesque. But if that's even too hard, you can hold on to an object for support or balance and just lean partially forward, not go all the way down like that guy is in the photo, because otherwise you might fall over and injure yourself further. The last one is calf raises. So +1, if you find them easy anyway, you could do single leg calf raises, or +2, you could increase the height of the step to drop the hill down further, so that you're getting more of a stretch in your Achilles and your on your calves. But you could also add a weight as well if you find that too easy. If you just don't want to add the height in, you can add a weight. Calf raises are meant to strengthen the calves, obviously, strengthen the Achilles, and improves power to be able to jump higher. So when you're jumping in rugby, when you're trying to jump up and catch the ball, it would improve that power to do so. And then -1, if that's too hard, you can just do double leg raises like in the photo on the left hand side, so there's more even, like equally distributed of the weight. And then if you find that too hard, even you could just take the step out on the left again, so you're just doing it on the floor. All of these are for 10 reps because they're all exercises rather than stretches. All for 3 sets, and I've decreased the rest time to 30 seconds because we are in phase 3 now, so your muscle would be a bit stronger because we're on week 9, so it's been 9 weeks since your injury. Then phase 4. So this aim of this phase 4 is sports specific training. So we want to increase like sports specific drills. So things like shuttle runs for rugby, because you need to develop your acceleration and speed, because that could have potentially, and obviously your agility, because that would have potentially caused the ACL when you're changing direction. There's a weakness in your knee that could have caused the tear in the ACL from the agility. So we're developing that up again. And +1 would be an increase in distance and speed, so you're running further and faster. And then 2, you could add some ankle weights so that it's more pull on you, so you have to work harder to get to the cones. And then a -1, if that's still too hard, you can do decrease in distance and speed. The second exercise is high knees. So this develops your strength and endurance of hip flexors, stretches your glutes, leading to a longer stride, so it's more efficient for real running. And you can, if that's hard anyway, you can do it at a walking pace, and then you could do raising the leg without the bend. So basically kind of just doing a static Russian kick would be easier, I think, than doing, because you don't really raise your leg without a bend, because that would be a Russian kick. And then you would increase the speed to become like a bit more difficult, and then extend the bent leg at the top. And you do that for 16 reps, 3 sets, and 25 seconds each. For the fourth exercise is Russian kicks. So to increase the speed to running pace would be a more challenging thing to do. And then you can do alternate legs instead of doing both legs at a time. Walking pace would decrease the intensity, and then just doing static, like on the spot Russian kicks, would be easier, shown in the photos. And these are for 16 reps as well, with 3 sets and 25 seconds rest, because they're lower intensity exercises if you're doing them at walking pace, so you require less rest time. And then Russian kicks will strengthen the hamstrings and improve stability on one leg, a bit like the arabesque, because you're putting that weight on one leg to kind of challenge that muscle. And then the last exercise is side lunges. For a decrease in intensity and difficulty, you can do them at walking pace again, and then do them at static side lunges like the woman is showing in the left photo. But to increase the intensity and difficulty, increase the speed, so maybe do it at running pace, and doing side lunges. So you're alternating maybe in between cones and doing a side lunge at an angle, like at a diagonal on a diagonal path, and then again alternate directions. So you're maybe do like a little game with your coach. So you're running, you do a side lunge, then he tells you to change direction, reverse, forward, and again that's for 16 reps, 3 seconds, and 25 seconds rest. So side lunges strengthen the muscles used for changing direction, targets inner and outer thighs. Um, so rehab two. This is athlete two who has um got a hamstring tear, grade two. Again, she's probably been out for 4 to 6 months. She's a footballer who plays in centre midfield, and she's also national level. Um, she got the um, she got the injury during training, so she turned up late to training and didn't get a proper warm up in, causing her to um, obviously twinge it or pull it because she was 10 minutes in to the training session when in doing dribbling drills when she felt a twinge in her hamstring and continued to play on because she was in denial, so she thought she'd just play it off. But then obviously in the game at the end of the training session, two players slid into each other, one being her. They were both trying to gain possession of the ball, causing her to, from the impact, causing it a grade two hamstring tear. Probably the stud came in or landed at an awkward angle, causing the tear to come away from the bone, causing the hamstring to come away from the bone. Um, Again, well, the same stages apply and they all include the same things. So phase one, remodeling inflammation, introduces proprioception at phase two, bodyweight training stage three, and sports specific drills in phase four. This time that's the treatment stages of healing graph. Um, I have decided to do a little bit differently, but only slightly. So inflammation. Similarly with athlete one, cryotherapy and therapy would still be used for the same reasons because it's the use of hot and cold treatments. The ice obviously as before freezes the blood flow in the injured area, and hot is then used to draw more oxygenated and nutritious blood to improve the healing time. Taping again is still used to support the knee, just on the back of the hamstring this time. It restricts any movement, prevents any further injury, and as it is a hamstring tear, there'll be a huge amount of inflammation at the beginning with a lot of swelling. So I don't want to do any soft tissue massage yet, just because, or deep tissue for that fact, because that's more pressurizing, that's more going to put more pain on the athlete. I think with ACL, it was obviously still quite painful, but I think grade two hamstring tear there might be a bit more swelling and maybe tissue fluid around the area. Um, so I think I would prefer, I personally wouldn't do any massaging at all till repair stage. Which is where electrotherapy, because that's the different thing. In ACL, I did electrotherapy in the first stage, but I haven't done it in this stage. I've just done it in repair. I've incorporated electrotherapy in the repair stage because there'll be a severe amount of pain for the athlete as there is loads of swelling. This treatment won't be as effective as it is used loads of it won't be as effective as if it used in the inflammation stage. This will reduce recovery time and speed the healing process. The repair stage begins to increase the range of motion and strengthen the player's hamstring. Therefore, treatments include soft tissue massage. It's used to keep the blood stimulation into the injured area. There's a light massage that alleviates aches and pains and doesn't put too much pressure or stress on the damaged tissues. Throughout this period, taping therapy and cryotherapy are still used, as this will continue to decrease healing time and will relieve pain. IASTM is used to increase range of motion and will reduce scar tissue for the individual. Further along the recovery period, deep tissue massage is included as this adds deeper pressure and releases chronic muscle tension. Proprioception is used to strengthen hamstring to decrease the chance of re-injury. The exercises I've chosen are used as soon as possible following injury because once swelling has decreased, these exercises will be more beneficial once swelling has decreased.